Hello and welcome to another revision video. Today I'm doing a breakfast warm-up for a non-calculator paper for a higher GCSE student. This is to do the morning before an exam, just to get your brain juices flowing. Doesn't sound quite right, but I'm sure you know what I mean. This isn't to replace any face-to-face session that you may have available to you to go and sit down with your teacher or teachers. This is for those students that aren't able to attend one of those sessions. I'll do it a row at a time and I hope you find it useful. Okay, so question one, what is the value of 4 cubed? Well, 4 cubed is 4 times 4 times 4. It's going to be 16 times 4, which is going to be 64. And the second one, solve. Okay, so we're looking to solve this. I'm going to expand my brackets first of all. So 5 times x would give me 5x. 5 times 2 would give me plus 10. It's going to be equal to 16 minus 4x minus 24. So then I need to make a decision where to move my x's to and where to move my numbers to. I'm going to move them this way around to keep my x's positive, so I'm going to move my x's over to here by adding 4x on both sides, so that will give me 9x, and then I'm going to so that's going to make that 6, and then 6 take away 24 is going to be 18, or minus 18, sorry, and then divide both sides by 5, minus 2. Write this number in standard form, so this is going to become 7.52. I'll place the decimal point in between the 7 and the 5, times by 10 to there, and I've moved that decimal point 3 places backwards, so minus 3. And write down all of the values that satisfies the following inequality. So I'm going to divide all 3 parts by 3 to start off with, and say that minus 4 has to be less than or equal to n, which is going to be less than 2. So all my values that satisfy that inequality, n can be minus 4, minus 3, all the way up to 1. You can write all those, but it's perfectly fine. Actually, I'll go 0, 1, so that my gap is more clear. I've got 2 below and 2 above my gap, and then I've got dot 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 to represent my gap. Okay, the ratio of boys to girls in a school is 5 to 6. There are 468 girls in the school. How many students are there altogether? So we've got B to G. I might need to zoom in a little bit, give myself a bit more space here. We've got 5 to 6, and we're told that there are 468 girls, so 468 girls. So in a sense, I need to work out what I've times that by. So I'm going to do 468, and I'm just going to zoom in on this. So I'm going to do 6's into 468. Well, 6's go into 46 fully. 7 times fully with 4 left over, and then 6 is going to 48 fully 8 times, giving me 78. Not quite there yet. That's only telling me the number that I need to multiply that by. So that in effect tells me what 1 part would be equal to, and I've got 11 parts, so I need to do 78 times by 11. Which is going to be 78, 0 there, and again, forgive my spacing, we're going to have an 8 there, a 5 there, and a 8 there. So I'm looking at 858 students altogether. Okay, car travels at 30 miles per hour for 1 hour, and then 60 miles per hour for 30 minutes. Work out the average speed for the whole journey. So the speed is going to be equal to the total distance, which is going to be 30 miles there, And if we go 30 miles per hour, 30 minutes, we need to travel 30 miles there as well. So travel a total of 60 miles. And the time for that is 1.5 hours. So that's going to be the same as 600 divided by 15, which is going to be 40 miles per hour. Okay, factorise. So factorise a quadratic, it's going to go into two brackets. The only way we can make the x squared coefficient is from an x and an x. And then we're looking for two numbers that multiply together to make 8 and add together to make minus 6. So we're looking at two negatives. It's going to be minus 4 and minus 3. Minus 4 and minus 2, sorry. Okay, simplify. So we've got a little bit of simplifying thirds and then arithmetic with thirds. So 75 is 25 times by 3, so that's going to be 5 root 3. And then 48 is 16 root 3, so that's 16 times 3, which is going to be 4 root 3. And then it's like 5x plus 4x would give us 9x, so 5 root 3 plus 4 root 3 would be 9 root 3. Okay, for our next one, work out. So I'm going to do this in two stages. Well, I'm going to take a shortcut, double shortcut. I'm going to say that 3 times by 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So I've converted that into an improper fraction. And then dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. And then I'm going to do a bit of simplifying before I multiply. So 3's go into that once and into 6 twice. So I'm looking at 22 over 5, which is a perfectly acceptable answer, although as the question had it as a mixed fraction, I would put it as a mixed fraction as well. So say it's 4 2/5. Okay, and work out the value of 8 times by 10 to the 9 times by 4 times 10 to the 5. So I'm going to split this into my number part, my indice part. So 8 times by 4 is going to be 32, times by 10 to the, and we add the powers, 14, and that number's not in standard form, so we need to convert that into standard form, so 3.2 times by 10 to the 15. Okay, third row, rearrange to make x the subject. I haven't got enough room to do that there, so I'm just going to take it onto another sheet, or try to. Okay, that's great. Right, so I want to make x the subject. The way I'm going to do that then is I'm going to start by moving my denominator over to the other side. Just resizing that slightly for myself. So I'm going to times both sides by x plus 2. And I'm also going to multiply out the bracket at the same time. So that's going to give me xy plus 2y is going to be equal to 3x plus 4. I'm then going to take all of my x's to one side, all of my y's to the other. It doesn't really matter which way. I aim to keep as few negatives as I can, but I'm going to end up with 2 either way. I'm going to take them this way. So I'm going to say that xy minus 3x is going to be equal to 4 minus 2y. I'm then going to factorise by taking x out the common factor. Y minus 3 is going to be equal to 4 minus 2y. I'm then going to divide both sides by y minus 3. So that's going to give me x is equal to 4 minus 2y divided by y minus 3. Just while I'm here, so I'm going to go in a slightly different direction here. If I'd have done it the other way around and taken my x's over to the other side and my y's over to the other side, and my non-y's over to the other side. No, I've put my arrow in the wrong place. I was just looking at that there. So I could have said that 2y minus 4 is equal to 3x minus xy. Then similar process of factorising. So 2y minus 4 is going to be equal to x times by 3 minus y, and then divide both sides by y minus 3. Gives me x is equal to 2y minus 4 divided by 3 minus y. So either of those answers is perfectly acceptable. Okay, for my next one, I'm going to, in effect, to simplify, I can't cancel them as they are. What I can do is say 9 is 3 squared, and I can treat that as 3 squared, which would be 3 to the power 4, x to the power 4, y to the power 10, because we would multiply the powers. And then here we'd have 3 to the power 3, x to the power 18, and y to the power 6. Then we can cancel and say y to the power 4 divided by y to the 3 would just be 3. I'm going to put it as a numerator, although I will discuss the other version. 4 minus 15 is going to be minus 18. 4 minus 18 is going to be minus 14. So I'm going to say x to the minus 14. And then 10 minus 6 is 4. So that's perfectly acceptable. Or we could have said that it was 3 y to the power 4 over x to the 15. I would never, you shouldn't put two answers down. I'm just saying in terms of answers, both of those would be fine. Okay, what is the interior angle of a regular octagon? So I don't know this off the top of my head. What I would do is I would work out the exterior angle first of all by saying that that's going to be equal to 360 divided by 8. And then 360 divided by 8 is going to go in 45 times. So the interior angle is going to be equal to 180 minus 45. That's going to be 135. Okay, let's just shift this over because we've got two questions. What is the ratio of the surface area of two similar cones with a base radii of 3 to 12, respectively? Okay, so if we look at it this way, we have got, if I call them A and B, we've got a scale factor of 3 to 12, which is going to be 1 to 4. So the surface area is going to be, so the surface scale factor squared would be 1 to 16, so 1 to 16. Okay, solve, not particularly nice one. So I'm going to multiply this out. I'm going to take everything over to one side, and then I'm going to try and refactorize. So that's going to give me x squared minus 2x minus 24 is equal to 3x. Let me just double check that. That would give me 4 minus, yeah. Okay, if I minus 3x from both sides, then I would get x squared minus 5x minus 24 is equal to 0. So to factorise, it's going to go into two brackets. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply together to make minus 24 and add together to make minus 5. So I'm looking at 8 and 3 is going to be minus 8 and plus 3. And then to make that bracket 0, x would need to be equal to 8, or x would be equal to minus 3. Okay, a map has a scale of 1 to 500,000. How many kilometres are represented by 3 centimetres on the map? So if I said that this is centimetres, that would be equal to that many metres, which would be equal to that many kilometres. So we've got the scale of 1 centimetre to 5 kilometers. So 3 centimeters would be equal to 15 kilometers. Okay, rationalizing the denominator, we would need to we would times by root 5 over root 5. If you times by 2 root 5, there's no major issue. You just need to simplify it finally. So that's going to give me 5 root 5 divided by 2 times 5, so divided by 10. And then we can cancel down by a factor of 2 to give us root 5 over 2. Okay, this year there were 484 people living in a village. This is 10% more than the population of the village last year. What was the population of the village last year? Right, so that 110% is going to be, this is 484 is going to be actually equal to 110%. And then we want to build that up to, so I'm going to divide both sides by 11 to find 10%. So that's going to be 44. Dividing that by 11, 11 goes into 48 4 times with 4 remainders, and then 4 goes into 44 4 times. So 100% is going to be equal to 440. Okay, last 2 questions. First one, we're looking at completing the square. So when we complete the square, we want to place the first two terms into a square bracket, which will be created by x plus half of the x coefficient. And from that, we would need to subtract 9 to get it to just being x squared plus 6x. And then we still need to subtract the 3, that is the number part. So that's going to be x plus 3 squared minus 12. Okay, show that f of x plus 2 can be written in the form, and then we've got it. So what we want to do is, in effect, f to the x plus 2 is going to be equal to x plus 2 squared minus 1. So that's going to give us x squared plus 4x plus 4 minus 1 is going to be plus 3. And then that would go into the form, well, that would factorize into x plus 3 and x plus 1. So A would be 3, B would be 1. And that brings to the end of the warm-up. I hope you found that useful. Good luck with your exam. In theory, good luck with your exam today. I hope it goes well for you. I hope you found that useful, and subscribe if you like.